Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. You are not. I am. Guys, what are you eating, drinking? I'm drinking my San Pellegrino, and I'm drinking some fruity black tea from Harney and Sons. Sarah Boone, remember Sarah Boone? She got the life sentence for unaliving her boyfriend George Torres in a Samsonite suitcase, but it was an off-brand. It wasn't even a Samsonite. Known on this channel as Samsonite Sarah. Sarah's been in trouble in the prison lately. She has gotten in trouble. Actually, she was in trouble in jail. They're moving her to prison, obviously, because, well, that's where you're going to do your time. And Sarah wants her rights. And here's the thing. You don't get that many rights when you're in prison. People don't answer to you. See, Sarah wants to know who, what, why, when, and where. What's fair, what's not fair. She wants the red carpet treatment in a place where there's no carpet. There's only like greenish colored walls that kind of calm you. That color's there to calm you. No excitement, no nothing. Sarah doesn't have many friends. She has a son that, had she have kept her mouth shut and took a fucking plea deal, she could have been out of jail in about 12 years at the most. I don't even think she would have had to have done 12 years. But because she wanted to convince the judge and everybody else that she was innocent, that she didn't mean to unalive George, but there was a suitcase and a video of a man in a suitcase asking to be let out of a suitcase, saying, "Sarah, I can't breathe," her laughing and mocking him. That video existed, and still she was given a plea deal that she said no. She wanted everybody to believe that she was a victim. In all of the things that we saw, George was the victim. And Sarah still doesn't get it. And that's a problem. And it's a problem when she goes into the prison. Because there are things, we see them in television shows. The truth is, there are top dogs. There are inmates that run the cell blocks. Obviously, the deputies, the COs, the correctional officers, they supposedly run the cell blocks, but they can't be everywhere. So there's an inmate that's usually calling the shots. And somebody like Sarah is going to get her ass beat because she's going to go up against somebody that just isn't going to listen to her. They're going to headbutt the fuck out of her. And they're going to put her in her place. And the guards aren't going to be there. The guards will turn an eye the other way when it comes to somebody like Sarah. Because if the guards don't like you, well, they didn't see what happened. Actually, there are guards that will actually get out of the way a few minutes before something goes down because they might not like that inmate. And they can't put hands on that inmate. So, they're short-handed, short-staffed. Not everybody is going to be protecting everybody, right? So, Sarah's going to have a lot of problems. She just has not gotten it. When there were the impact statements, the victim's impact statements, and the family was talking about how sad and how everything, and then Sarah has the audacity to get up there and say that she forgives George, and she forgives George's family, and she goes into disgracing his memory even more so. That, I thought for sure that the decision of what something or how somebody was going to be punished, I thought that was already like engraved in stone. I'm not sure that it is engraved in stone. Yeah, like I was convinced that, probably the sentence was already inside of the judge's head, and all they were going to do is they were going to sit down and say what the sentence was. I don't know about that anymore. I think after Sarah Boone insulted the victim's family, when she just went off on apologizing for George's bad behavior, to his family that were actually mourning him. I think the judge saw that in such bad taste that he was like, yeah, there is no mercy for this woman. I'm throwing the fucking book at her. And he did, and gave her life. I mean, she ain't getting out. I don't see where anybody's going to have any kind of compassion for this woman in any way, shape, or form, including the other inmates. So the other inmates aren't going to tolerate her, and she is going to have to be put in her place, and that is going to happen there because no matter what, there is only one room. There is only room for one top dog, and I can guarantee you Sarah Boone ain't going to be the toughest cookie inside the joint. She will be humbled, and she could even be somebody's bitch. I believe that that's something that can definitely happen. You know, because Sarah wants to act all ghetto and stuff. She's not. She wants to act all tough. She's not. She was an alcoholic who had some puff to her because she dated a guy who was probably about, you know, her size. George weighed 120 pounds. She supposedly weighed about 100 pounds. Now she weighs about 140 pounds. She no longer is on the liquid diet. But she still thinks she is owed shit. You are in prison for unaliving somebody, leaving them in a suitcase and being stupid enough to tape it. And trying to get off by saying that you were afraid and you were a victim. Yet everything that showed was Sarah. Sarah was the bully. George was the one that was always like coming to her with his tail between his legs. That's what we kept seeing. So this behavior, this way about her that her ex-husband had to endure and probably her son had to endure, yeah, these inmates aren't going to do it. They're not going to do it. She is one thing that they will just shoo her ass away. You know? And Sarah's never done any hard time. She doesn't know what it's like to be stuck in the joint and you know, have to be intuitive. And, you know, she thinks if she could just, you know, but she's going to have things her way. You know, she wrote a 58-page letter to the judge, like the judge is going to sit down and read 50. Like, she's entitled to that. You talk about entitlement. Her face should be next to that word in the dictionary. She's just unbelievable. Sarah Boone. So we're going to keep up with her and see her progress as she, you know, unwinds and finds her place in prison, because she's going to have to become a chameleon, or she's going to have to do a lot more working out, because she's going to get her ass beat pretty bad. I just see that coming. I've seen people like her, and they will be made to be somebody there because they won't get out of their own way. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. What do you think about Sarah Boone? She's getting what's coming to her. She's getting her comeuppance. What does Judge Judy say? Her comeuppance? She's getting what's coming to her. Karma's coming to her, and she's getting it. And this is it. And as she's sitting there, at some point, it's going to hit her. Had I have just shut up, swallowed my pride, realized that this was my fault, I own at least half of it, I could have been out there living my best life. But I'm not. I'm in here forever. Never going to see her son, the milestones that he's going to go through with his life. And he will need his mom at some point. She was so worried about the way things looked that she couldn't even get out of her way to be there for her own son. And he'll remember that. He'll remember that. And she'll be paying for that forever. All right, guys. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Tell me what you think in the comments. Should we keep up with Sarah Boone, Doc? Samsonite Sarah, Samsonite Sarah. Thanks, guys.